Debbie.
Good morning, gorgeous.
How are you?
I'm wearing black. I remembered.
Yay!
Morning,
Hi,
Steve.
Susan.
Good morning.
Stacy.
Crashing again. I love you all. I'm never going away.
You can crash anytime. We love having you here.
Fiona's about to let her presence be known too.
Okay, Fiona, come join us.
Yeah,
Hi,
she's her
Stacy.
neighbor walking
Good
by.
morning.
Is trying to resist the urge. Can you say hi? Say hi.
Hi, Fiona. She wants to see Mary Beth.
She does. She loves Mary Beth.
Yeah.
Hi, Sharon. Good morning. Hi, Faye. Oh, Faye's not there. I'm talking to her, and she's not even there. It is pouring here in Florida.
Oh, really? Oh, my
Seriously.
husband's down there right now. So
My teenage drivers on the road going to school. And I'm like, oh, let's just keep Joe in good thoughts as he safely makes his way into high school. Hi, Sharon Edwards.
Hello, good morning. What's happening?
Good morning to you.
Good morning, Sharon.
Can you see all the rain back here?
Yeah, I see it. You're getting it like I am.
Yeah, we're getting ready to all weekend.
Oh.
where are you, Deb?
Outside of Baltimore.
Oh, does that mean it's going to rain in Northern Virginia too?
Well, Mary Beth will be on. She'll tell us.
Okay. Yeah, I try not to pay attention to it, but
I'm in the Baltimore area too, and they say it's going to rain all weekend. So,
Yeah. Where are you, Sharon? I mean, Stacy.
Harford County.
Oh, okay. So you're up near Judy.
Yes, we are.
She's a
We are
friend of Judy's.
definitely right in the.
That's how we found Stacy today, through Judy,
Oh, okay.
which I'm excited about. Hi, Connie Joe. Good morning.
Hiya.
Hiya. She's sucking down her coffee.
High test. Remember when there used to be high test gas?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
High test, yeah.
Yeah.
Regular and high test. They renamed it to premium.
Named it.
Yeah,
It sounds sexier. You don't mind paying the extra $75 a gallon.
right.
Good morning, Judy. Good morning, Margaret. Good morning, Faye. Everybody. How are you? How are you? I'll get it out.
Judy.
Good.
You
I know
got a full
Judy-
house.
Yeah, Judy Kane's not joining us because she has her other commitment, and it's end of last Friday of the month. And let's see, Mary Beth. Wait a minute. If Mary Beth Hannah's not joining us because she's doing charity work today. Good reason not to come networking, I believe.
Yeah.
So let's just give Miss Mary Beth a moment, and then we will get started. It's good to see. I have the whole Brady Bunch going here. I got all your little squares.
We sing.
Sure.
We of virtual networkers.
So this morning, Alice is, so you know, everybody knows Brady Bunch, right? So Alice is in the middle. My Alice this morning is Sharon Edwards. So Sharon, look up. Look
And
at
guess what I'm going to be for Halloween tonight? It kind of works with being Alice. I'm going to be a babysitter, and I will attach a baby to my rear end. Be a babysitter,
I
a
love it.
doll.
But
I want to know what Connie Joe's going to be.
yeah, Connie Joe, what's your Halloween costume?
I'll be right back.
And don't forget Orlando.
Oh, shoot.
Is Orlando
We're
her
gonna have
pet?
some fun with us this morning because we are a fun little group.
No, you'll see.
Judy Fritz, you look all bundled up over there.
Yeah, you cold, Judy?
I'm fresh out of LA. I've been there for 3.5 weeks, and it was so nice, and now I'm freezing.
What is that? Is that pizza?
The piece of pizza.
That is awesome, Connie Joe.
I want her to bring a montage of all of her Halloween costumes in
A little parade.
She's
Oh, there you go.
amazing.
She's going to be dressed up for our party today. That's awesome. All right, on that
Oh, you can't really see it.
pizza note. That
Oh
pizza
my
note.
God.
Oh, I love it. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Virtual Networkers. We are so glad that you are here with us. And if Mary Beth joins us, we'll just welcome her in. We'll see. There she is. We're going to get started. We have a great speaker lined up today. Thank you. Before I begin, thank you for joining us last week for our meeting. If you were not there, I sent you a replay link so you can watch. We had a great meeting. Even Laura watched it. She was like, man, that was a great meeting. I'm like, thanks, Laura. Good morning, Mary Beth. So we're going to get started with our elevator speeches, pitches, whatever you like to call it. So I'll just call on you to get started. So while we're doing elevator speeches, make sure to open the chat box and put your first, last name, and email address. For those of you who are here for the first time, I do send a link to the recording from today's meeting to you, as well as a copy of the chat box, so you have everybody's email addresses so that you can connect with them offline or online, whatever the case may be. So Debbie Keevan, do you mind kicking us off?
Oh, I do not. Good morning, everyone. I'm Debbie Keevan, and I am outside of Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm a word alchemist. I help change-making entrepreneurs really own their words and use them to attract their ideal clients. And I do it on websites, I do it on their blogs, and I do it in books. And so let me know if you have any questions, or if you know anybody who wants help or needs help with any of those things.
Thank you so much. Go ahead, Judy. You're raising your hand. Oh.
I'm saying I need help with those things.
Oh, there you go. You two know each other, so you can hook up. That's awesome. Well, I'm next in the Brady Bunch squares, so I'm Jill Celeste. I'm the chapter president for this chapter of Virtual Networkers, and we are really awesome, by the way. And I'm so excited to be here and welcoming Stacy. I'll introduce her in a few minutes. For me, I'm a marketing coach. I'm based in Newport Richey, Florida, which is just north of Tampa. And I help purpose-driven entrepreneurs really embrace their roles as director of marketing for their businesses, as well as teaching them how to love marketing through the Celestial Circle. So good morning to everyone. Susan Rose, you're up next.
Hi, everyone. My name is Susan Rose. I'm a happiness and success coach based in Reston, Virginia, not so far from Mary Beth. I help professional women who are burnt out in their corporate jobs because they just are not using their creative talents and they're not making the world a better place. So I help them figure out what they're going to do next and how they're going to change that.
We are glad you're here. Susan is a member of our other Virtual Networkers chapter, and I told her she can come visit us all the time, and so she asked.
Yeah, I've become a Virtual Networkers junkie, and I like all that.
It's easy, right? I love it. Good morning, Faye. You're next.
Good morning. I'm Faye Tarshis, and I own Kathy's Cape.
Oh, you got one on.
Ooh.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I might have to start wearing it. It's a little chilly outside. I am in Alpharetta, Georgia, and Kathy's Cape is a cape that I created to wear during It has the pocket on the front for the book. It has two little nested pockets on the inside for driver's license, credit card, keys. You don't need to take a purse with you.
That's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Now I can take it off. It's too warm in the house.
I love it. Thank you so much. Representing the other Georgian in the group, Connie Joe.
Ooh. I'm not on mute. Okay. I thought I was on mute. I could have been making all kinds of noises. I'm Connie Jo Miller of Enigma Bookkeeping Solutions. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling behind on your bookkeeping, I'm here to help you. I do bookkeeping and financial coaching, and soon I will be a money guide, which is a person who helps you learn how to take control of your money instead of having your money control you.
Love that, Connie Joe. Thank you so much for being
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
On a station on near you.
Good morning, Stacy. I know you are a speaker, but I want to give you an opportunity to do your elevator speech.
Oh, thank you. So good morning. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Judy, for making this possible for me. I am a life and business coach, and my specialty is about helping people who have checked all the prerequisite boxes of success and still have that itch for something more, right? That's something meaningful and authentic. So we're going to talk more about that today, and I can't wait. So thank you all. You are beautiful. I can already feel this amazing energy that is here. So I just can't wait to jump in.
Oh, thank you, Stacy. We're so glad you're here. Speaking of Judy, you're next.
Good morning, everybody. I'm so glad to be with you again. I've been in California So the 8 o'clock was actually 5 o'clock. So 8 o'clock is tough for me. So 5 would be impossible.
We understand.
So I am Judy Fritz from Bel Air, Maryland, and I run a virtual assistant company. We provide a virtual staff to support entrepreneurs, everything from head of operations to an admin team, or to just a virtual assistant. So that's me.
We are glad you're here, Judy. Thank you for joining us. We're glad you're back from California. We had 2 people in California. I'll get to her in just a moment, but first we get to Margaret Martin.
Good morning, everyone. I am Margaret Martin, who lives in beautiful Dunedin, Florida, where it is actually raining right now.
We're getting it too.
Yeah, so, and then, you know, the cooler weather will come, so we'll have to pull out a sweater maybe over the weekend. At any rate, I help people change their mindset so they can transform their life. And I do that as a coach. I do life coaching, career coaching, and trauma coaching. And I also provide training workshops and keynote presentations on the chatter that matters. Your words are your power.
Yay!
So thank you so much. If you know someone who needs a workshop or needs a book, that they can transform their self-talk, negative self-talk.
Yay, Margaret. Glad you're here.
Thank you.
Mary Beth, you're next.
Good morning, Mary Beth Tucker, recently from Santa Clarita, California, but currently and usually in Alexandria, Virginia, so here I am. I am still talking to animals. I'm still letting you have a 2-way conversation with them, and I am also currently teaching UConnect, teaching people how to connect with the animals and their families. So I am what they call as an animal communicator. So that's what I do, and I enjoy it so much. It's not funny, except when it is, and when you're talking to funny animals. So I'm glad to be back on the East Coast. Thanks, Jill.
You're welcome. We're glad that you're here, back from the gibbons and the turkey and everything else you saw over there. It's awesome. I'm so glad, not that this was intentional, but Sharon is our last introduction. But before she starts, I want to welcome Sharon officially to Virtual Networkers. She joined us this week. We are so, so glad to have you, Sharon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm Sharon Edwards with Platinum International, and I sell toner cartridges and ink cartridges for your printers. They're all brand new working parts. They're designed to save you time, a ton of cash. And the best part is we take 11% of all the proceeds from every single cartridge sold, and we buy food and feed the homeless each month. That's called Project Pop Drop. Currently, we contribute to feeding over 90,000 meals every month to the different homeless shelters.
Amazing.
Yep, it's kind of cool. You're not just feeding your printer with toner or ink, you're feeding homeless human beings that really need it.
Yeah, what a great cause. Thank you, Sharon. We're so glad you're here, and thank you for doing that good work. The really important stuff. On that lovely note, I'm going to introduce Stacy. And Stacy, are you going to do PowerPoint, or are you just going to talk today?
No, I'm just going to talk.
Awesome. I love that. Well, let me do a quick intro, and then we'll give you the reins. So welcome again, Stacy. Stacy is a lover of life. I love her bio. Lover of life, which includes the daily intention of joy, adventure, and magic. She's a blend of teacher, writer, speaker, and master coach, both in life and business. She's a compassionate truth teller and intuitive guide. She works with men and women, as she's mentioned, who checked all those prerequisite boxes of successful life and are still feeling that itch for something more authentic and meaningful. She has the powerful gifts of healing arts of self-love, which help you connect and live from your soul's love language. So Stacy, we are so glad you're here. We are ready for you when you are.
Okay, well, I have had a cold all week, and I just kept asking the universe to keep my voice so that I could speak with you this morning. So this is a little raspier version of me.
Version. That's okay, Stacy.
Yes, totally. Stacy After Dark version. That's what my husband calls it. So, but I think it will last, and I have my coffee here, so all will be well.
Okay.
Thank you for all for coming. The first thing that I wanted to do was just a short meditation, so we kind of ground into the energy together. So if it feels good, to close your eyes, just to soften into this moment, whatever feels comfortable. If you're an avid meditator and you have that kind of home base, if you're not as much a meditator, that's okay too. You can just close your eyes and listen to my voice, and wherever it takes you is the perfect thing. So just want you to imagine wherever you are, we're all in different places this morning. Just climb back into your physical body by noticing your toes and your feet, wherever they are, carpet or floor or chair. And invite space for our time together, whatever that intention would be for you, whatever you would most like to get out of our Friday morning. And if there's thoughts running through your mind or the morning or what's coming after, imagining there's this lazy river right next to your chair. And any thoughts, anything that's coming or going, you can put down in the lazy river and let it float by for now. And it can come back, circle back around. You can pick it up later if you want. I want you to imagine you're on this beautiful meandering path outside on, maybe you're in a field, maybe there's mountains in the background, wildflowers, just really noticing what you take in as you're on this path in this open fall field. What do you hear? What do you sense? Even what the air feels like as you breathe it in. And up in front of you in this path is the most magnificent well you've ever seen. And you walk towards it and you see a pile of stones sitting right beside the well. Pick up the stone that calls to you. No, you don't have to overthink, just whichever one. Hold it in your hand. Feel its texture, its weight. Is it cool or warm? And stand in front of the well. We're just going to open an intention for the soul of your business to share some guidance, a piece of wisdom. If you have a specific question you want to ask, just opening to whatever's here in the moment. Whenever you feel ready, dropping that stone into the well. And as it drops through the water all the way down to the sandy bottom of the well, there is a message for you. Maybe a word or a feeling or a knowing. Maybe an openness, an invitation that hasn't quite been made clear yet. Offering curiosity and compassion for whatever is here in the well with the stone, any wisdom. You can ask a follow-up question if you want, or sit with the feeling. And whenever you feel ready, closing this meditation with gratitude and appreciation for whatever has been here. Just tucking in that wisdom, that knowledge into you so you can carry it forth today, tomorrow, maybe even into next week. Trusting yourself, the wisdom, the well. When you feel ready, kind of coming back into this present moment by wiggling your toes, softening your shoulders, opening your eyes again softly, and trusting your own kind of coming back, however that is, whatever that looks like. And I was thinking, Judy, I'm sorry if that maybe put you, I was thinking like, that could put people to sleep. And so I love to start with something like that meditation, because what I want to talk with you today, what I talk with lots of people about, is this idea of the rules. So if you have a notebook with you, if you want to jot some things down, because I'm going to ask you to think about some stuff. However, you don't have a notebook, that's okay too. You can just follow along. And it sounds like, Jill, there's a recording, so they can go back if they wanted to. So one of the things that the power of meditation holds, if you are a meditator, you might know, is accessing that inner wisdom, that guidance. However, so much of the time, we've been kind of brought up in a world where we're looking for the expert information, the secret to how do we make more money, how do we become successful. And so maybe we read books, maybe we take courses, maybe we talk to other people, maybe we even hire coaches. And because we're looking for the answer outside of that inner wisdom. So I love to start with a meditation just to show us and invite that you have all of the expertise and knowing and knowledge within you. And there's a beautiful amount of resources outside of ourselves that we can pull in as we need. However, if we start with ourselves, if we start in the place where we really ground into what is true for us, what is most right, the next best step for my business, for myself as an entrepreneur, rather than, oh my gosh, I didn't do this, but it would be very curious. How many business books are there out there for entrepreneurs? It's got to be millions. There's so many things. And like one year it's, Tim Ferriss, excuse me, and the 4-hour week. And then it's, another flavor and another flavor and another flavor. It's almost kind of like the diet industry, where it's constantly telling us formula, formula, formula for success. And I'm curious for you, which rules have you adopted into your own business? So if you think about all of the checklists, okay, I need to do 10 social media posts and I need to be working hard 80 hours in order to run a successful business. I need to be, in 5 networking groups. Are there rules that you have internalized that may or may not be your rules, right? That you've gotten from the world outside you. So I would love for you to think about one rule that you have that you follow in business. And if you have, if you have that notebook, writing it down, but even if you don't, just really thinking about, what is a rule that I absolutely believe? Maybe it is, oh my gosh, people who get ahead, they work harder than everybody else. Or maybe it is, you have to have a certain degree in order to be successful. Or, I don't know, we all have these very interesting things that we've accumulated in our lives and we've carried with us. Today, what I want is to shine the light on what those are for us so that you can then choose, do I choose this rule? Is it working for me? So now, hopefully, does everybody have something in mind? Yes? Okay. So I want you just to sit with that rule, kind of just imagining yourself following it, and how does it feel in your body? So one of the things that most of us, again, have been trained and taught in the world is to operate up here in our head, right? If we can figure it out at the head level, the rational, logical, then we will figure it out. And what I have found, this new paradigm for entrepreneurs, especially my feeling is after hearing all of you, you are part of this new group, is really shifting the energy down kind of coming from this soul expression. What is it that I'm meant to do in service here? Right? If I woke up every morning and asked myself, how can I be in service? How can I use my gifts? Then whatever needs to come forward, right? Whatever came in the meditation for you, whatever comes in something maybe you did read and you're like, oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to try that. Versus kind of, again, trying to take somebody else's formula. That's amazing that they've been super successful with that. That may or may not work for us. And so when we give our power to the outside forces, rather than really think about, what do I think? So when you feel it in your body, it really gives you that, I always like to say it kind of bypasses the mind and the logical, right? And the body wants to share information in a very truthful way. So if you've ever imagined, or you've ever gone into like a social situation and you got this sixth sense about somebody you didn't like and you had no idea, maybe you hadn't met them before, and all of a sudden you just get that weird feeling, right? Your body knows something, it has information. The mind wants to rationalize it and say that cannot be true. If anybody's ever read the book Blink by Malcolm Gladwell, he talks in that book for a lot of pages, although you really just need to read the beginning, about the fact that this body compass, this system we have, is really wired accurately. I think it was like 95% of the time. But the mind gets so involved in trying to convince us, well, we don't really have a reason why we don't like that person that we just met. And so we try to bypass, or a lot of times we bypass. So I just want you to think about whatever that rule is, how does it feel? Does it feel physically? Do you feel lightness in your chest? Do you want to smile? Do you feel your shoulders soften? Or do you feel like tense and a heavy weight? Just start to notice. It's not about judgment. It's just about getting really curious about all the things that are coming in to help you be the best, business, entrepreneur, just being the best person on the planet that you want to be, curating it the way it is going to work for you. And it might have worked that way for somebody else, but what is the best way for you? So here's where we can also get a little what I would call sideways, is why are you following that rule? So in my own life, I grew up, my family had a very successful company. And the rule in my family in the business world was you could not work enough. Right? In order to be successful, you sacrificed everything, family relationships, your social life, all the things, because if 80 hours was good, 90 hours was better. If 90 hours was better, 120, it just kept going. And so what is under that? And so when I started asking myself that question, it was like, well, I want to be successful, right? I want to earn money, and this is the way to do it. So we can get really attached to the outcome of, I want to make money, I want to find my clients. And that why a lot of times, right, that attachment to the outcome can interrupt what I would call kind of our energetic calling card. So anytime you meet with a client, anytime you put a post out, anytime you're just, again, you're writing a book, you're putting out an energetic calling card about who you are, what your gifts are in the world, and how you want to interact, with your clients, with people, even with yourself. And if the energetic calling card is, I need to do this in order to make money, I need this to be successful in order for my clients to come to me and find me, right? It's like dating. Have you ever been in a dating situation? I was about 10 years ago, where it's like, I really want to be dating somebody. Well, that kind of graspy energy totally undermines like really finding somebody, because I'm attached to the outcome. I'm not saying to myself, I'm going to be the best Stacy out there, and I trust and I know, again, that I've got this inner GPS that's going to help guide me. Rather, it's like, I've got to do this, this, and this in order to find the love of my life. And all that doing, right, all that push of the rules can really pull us out of our own integrity as, just as a person, as a business person. And that's where it can kind of mess around with this energetic calling card. So if you love the rule, it feels really good in your body, it's going to come from a really beautiful place. But if you feel like it's a should, I should be, I'm supposed to be, right? Then that's where it can get a little wonky. And that's where I want to challenge all of us, myself included, because I'm talking about this all the time. You spot it, you got it. It helps me as well too. So I want you to imagine if you could take this one rule and you could break it. What would it sound like? So I'm going to give you an example. I coached a woman a couple years ago, and she came to me. She had a prior business coach, and the prior business coach gave her a checklist of all the things. You need to be doing this, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing this. And I said to her, okay, let's talk about the first thing on the list, which was you need to have 3 to 5 social media posts every week. She says to me, Stace, she goes, every time I think about that, this is what my body does. It just cringes. And I said to her, then stop doing it. And she goes, what? I can't do that. That's the formula for success. Every person knows you've got to be on social media. And I go, is that true? Because I know a lot of people who have beautiful businesses and they don't have a website, they don't have social media presence. And I know people who have amazing social media presence, an amazing website, because your flavor of magic, your flavor of you, it needs to be aligned. So if that, again, somebody else might go, I love to do 10 social media. Yes, and the energy of that is so different than the like, Stacy, every week when I think about doing this, I just go, and I go, yeah, and that is going out when you're putting, that's the energetic calling card of each of those posts. So stop. And as soon as she gave herself permission to break that rule, now that woman does like 10 posts a week. But it was the feeling that the energy of like, I have to do this. So it's the same thing for me in my own example around you have to work harder. If I reverse that, what if I don't have to work as hard? How can I get my goals and achieve what I want and work less? I was like, ooh, feel when you start to reverse that, I want you to really feel it in your body to see if it feels true. If it doesn't, then keep working with it. Maybe there's something else there, or maybe that one really does feel authentic for you. But it's this idea that we have, it's almost like we're a magnet, right? We've walked through the world and pulled in all of this information. And some of it is really wonderful for us, and some of it is like, maybe not. And how it relates to me in terms of your ideal clients. First of all, and you probably heard this lots of times, is your ideal client is a version of you, is a part of you, lives in, breathes as you do. So if you detest social media, then you know what? Your ideal clients, there's probably lots of other places to find them. There's lots of other places to engage with them. That is not, maybe it's a workshop like Margaret was saying, an in-person event, right? They like to be out and about and get their information face to face. There's infinite possibility for how you can have an amazing business. But I think we get really constricted when we start to say, it has to be this way, and this way. So even if you take the 3 to 5 after today, maybe later this afternoon or next week, say, what are the rules that I'm really, truly living by in my business? Do I choose them? Do I actually choose these things for myself? What is the benefit to me for following this rule? Well, in my own example with my family, the benefit was, okay, everybody was doing it, so there was a lot of self-acceptance. But the cost, right? If you ask yourself, and I could trust, like I could also say, if this doesn't work, it's not my fault, right? Somebody else came up with this rule, so I don't have accountability. But then I start to say, what is the cost of trying to work 90 hours, 120 hours? Oh my gosh, I'm sick. Not that I'm sick for that today, but I could be sick, I'm run down, I'm cranky. I am not the best version of myself. And so we have to start to think about, anytime you're thinking about these things, is what's the benefit? Sometimes the benefit is it feels safer. It feels safer to follow the rule. Because again, then if it messes up, I can say, look, see, that's why. Instead of saying, ooh, I had this intuitive nudge in my guided meditation this morning to go out and write a book. Well, that can be a really scary, vulnerable place. And trusting our own selves as entrepreneurs, again, it is not for everybody. It's not what, most people are not going, yes, I'm all in, but we are. And so we are willing to wade in the water, a little bit of being vulnerable, being uncomfortable, so that I really think the business will help us grow as well. It has this beautiful synchronicity of, as you put yourself out there, as you trust, as you break a rule and create something new for yourself, it will reverberate out. It will ripple out for you in ways that you'll be like, wow. Because again, the field of infinite potential and possibility, which so many of the spiritual teachers talk about, is out there. So to me, the other question is, you can ask yourself, is this true? Is it true in order to be successful? I have to basically physically kill myself, shorten my lifespan. Is that true? You could also ask, what else could be true? So if you get stuck, sometimes we have a hard time accessing our own wisdom, right? We get in our head, what I call the hamster wheel, lots of coaches, right? Where you just get on that mind circle of, well, this is how this person, we just get into that place. We start comparing our lives, our insides, right, to everybody else's outsides, and we can get ourselves, again, all sideways. So here's another really important thing that I want you to walk away from, hopefully, from our time together is, what would your 10-year from now self say about whatever it is? Whether you ask her, what do you think about this role? What do you think about the next step, the soul of my business and where I want to go next? Whether I want to be speaking, whether I want to be networking, how do I want to do these things? Because your 10-year from now self has the perspective of time, right? She's up on the mountain, looking down or looking at it in a very different perspective than when we're in it. And sometimes when we're in it, we can be very constricted. So how do we move from constriction to expansion, where we can believe there's lots of choices, lots of possibilities? This rule, this belief isn't the only thing. Well, if you pull yourself up and you really say, yeah, okay. She says, don't waste your time. She says there's plenty of other ways. You don't have to kill yourself. Challenge that belief back. And so kind of tagged into that to me is, what gives you the most joy when you're thinking about your business? What has the most energy from, like, I want to jump out of bed every morning? For those of you, and I know I know Judy, like Judy exudes this beautiful energy. It's like she just gets out of bed and wants to help clients. And so you feel that, and it comes across in a lot of, anytime I meet with her, I talk to her, I feel that. And so what do you absolutely love? Because when we really think about what we love to do and what that is, and giving ourselves permission to follow that, a game changer. How can we have more fun? We take things so seriously. We do. I mean, I do. I can be so serious, and it's like, if everything in my business I'm learning, I'm taking it in as feedback rather than, oh, I'm a failure, oh, that, right? If we don't make it mean the negative things, if we challenge those beliefs and say, okay, maybe that wasn't the exact thing that happened the way I thought it would be, that's going to redirect me a little bit over here, then everything is an opportunity for information. And we're not using it to berate ourselves or beat ourselves up about. We're just using it to bring your flavor of magic, your gifts out even bigger into the world. So I'm always about that. And I love to say, it's kind of cheesy and I don't care, is how can we hit the easy button. So, you know, those big, cheesy, easy buttons at Stable. So when something's coming up, maybe the rule, oh my gosh, I have to, again, I said to my client, okay, so you don't want to do 3 to 5 posts. How can this be, how can you make getting your word out easy, fun? How can you hit the easy button? She goes, you're full of it, Stace. You are so full of it. And that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But then a week later, she came back and she said, wow, I really thought about that. And again, it's a changing of our mindset and it's a choosing something else. And she goes, absolutely came up with this idea. I want to do video. She had this whole plan. It just came up as soon as, again, she released herself from the like construction, the structure. And there's a beautiful balance of, again, having structure and routine in our lives and really pulling in what we truly want. And so I will always defer to you. You are the expert on you. I don't know, and I would never tell you what to do. However, I would always want you to really check in with that kind of inner knowing. What happened at the well? What did you hear? And if you heard nothing, that's okay too. Maybe it's just an opening of space, inviting something you'll hear this afternoon. Tomorrow, you'll be in the shower, something will come to you. Right? We're very impatient, especially as entrepreneurs. We want everything to happen immediately. And I wonder if that really true? Is it all supposed to happen? There's so much learning, so much that I get out of, again, breaking rules so that I can find my own true voice. It's empowering. And everything that comes forward as a business challenge just takes me deeper and deeper into that. And it's like, who I was 5 years ago and who I am now, I am loving it. And I would encourage you to think about it that way too. It's like, how can I have fun? How can I learn? How can I play with all this stuff? Especially if we don't take it so serious. And if the 10-year from now self doesn't work, I always say, bring in yourself at your peak of confidence. They say girls peak at like age 9. Is this not the most horrible statistic ever, right? And then by 13, girls' confidence just like tanks and it never recovers. But there's like a version of me or childhood kind of self that was like 9 or 10 that was like, forget the world, I'm going to do whatever I want, right? Before the world started telling me, hey, wait a second, you can't do that. And so I'll channel her too, because again, that's my own inner guide. That's the access to our own inner wisdom that we have all the time. And so whether the rule is right for you, whether the thing you want to do, it's really going back in, feeling it in your body, trusting, playing with it, being curious, and using all of that to help you with the next step and the next step and the next step. So that's what I have for you this morning. Jill, once I get going, I don't always pay attention to the time. So
you are perfect.
I am right on schedule for what you were imagining. Yeah. And I think you said we were going to open it up for questions, but I will defer to you on what you think is best.
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you so much. For your meditation was lovely. I just wanted to say, you have a lovely voice. Like, I was like, oh, such a good spot. It was raining here, so it was like the perfect ambiance. And so
thank you
for starting us off with a meditation. I think all of us enjoyed that. Does anybody have any questions for Stacy, or anybody want to share what the rule they wrote down or were thinking of? Would love to hear that if it's not too private.
Totally. If you feel comfortable.
Yeah. Who wants to share? Go ahead, Faye.
I wrote down, you have to get out and market. You have to get out and go to these meetings. You have to get out and do networking. What I'm finding is I'm running into all the same people at all the same networking groups. And it's starting to become a little bit of a cycle that I want to break. But I'm afraid if I don't go, then I didn't do my networking. I've missed out on an opportunity. I have to figure out how to give myself permission to say, that's not going to work for me. And I didn't do a lot this week. As Jill knows, my dad was sick this week, so it sort of down on my sales. And it stymied me a little bit, so I lost a few days. But I feel really guilty about it. Now, let's make no mistake, ladies, I am Jewish. That comes with the territory. But I do feel kind of bad that I feel like I've lost a week.
Yeah. Is that true that you've lost a week?
I lost 3 days.
Well, and I would say, and I know there's people in here too that are all about the language. It's very interesting the choice of words you use, right? I lost, rather than I took care of myself, I took care of my dad. And it's such an interesting thing of just how we speak to ourselves and the words we use, because those words bully us. That sounds like we're bullying. And then you're like, so I got to get back out there. I have to do it. And what I would say, is that true? Is it true that you have to go to all those networking? But what I would say is, what else could be true? How else could, instead of like, I have to market, I just want to share. I want to connect with people. I want to share this beautiful, you have a beautiful product. How can I just, again, offer this in a way? That word marketing, it's so interesting, Jill, I'm sure you get this all the time, right? It really can trip people up about what's supposed to happen. And that have to, I don't know, Faye, if you felt that energy, but the energy, I have to, that's what I'm talking about. And where that you feel that in your body versus what if you say, how else could I do this? If I want to get out with people, what else could I do?
And also thinking about, instead of saying I have to, I get to.
Yeah. Yes.
And depending on, again, if
absolutely.
If it's still icky, but if you swift pivot it to, I get to share my product at this networking meeting. Does that make it feel better?
That's a really great point.
I have a little suggestion on that too. Instead of being lost, and you already instead of having to have to go to all these networking, you have a great clientele base already. So why not ask them for a referral? And let them do the work for you. You love my product.
Ooh.
Share it with someone else.
Easy button. Total easy button. I know it sounds cheesy, but that's a way to hit the easy button.
Right. Now it just saved you from going across town to a meeting with the same people over and over and over again. Start focusing on the people that already have your products and love it, and ask them at the end of every call. I said, oh, by the way, Gladys, do you know anyone else that would love to save money on toner and give back at the same time? Boom. She goes, oh my gosh, yeah, there's 5 names. So you do that with each one of your clients and look what happens.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I would also suggest that for all of the meetings you need to go to in a week, maybe at the beginning of the week, you sit quietly, do your meditation and say, which meeting is it that I really would like to attend this week, instead of feeling you have to attend all. Which one would I really like to attend? Which one can I go and have some fun?
Virtual networkers, I can answer that for you.
Well, I know that. That's automatic. But I meant the in-person meeting.
That's great.
That
was great feedback.
Yeah.
Thank you. All good suggestions. Thank you.
Here's another thing that if you're stuck on something, right, and you can't get out of that own space, like by calling a friend or calling somebody in this network or chatting, right? Because we're not in it right? We can have the perspective of being outside of it to share with you. Sometimes it's like, oh, then instantly, right? You get just redirected, and it's like, that was so easy. Why did you come, right? But when we're in it, it's harder for us to kind of pivot. So to help you pivot, sometimes just reaching out. If you have a beautiful network, and again, these women, I would reach out to any of them and talk with them and come up with something too.
Thank you.
And I would share.
Thank you for sharing.
Have your phones by your side today.
I would share Louise Hay's words of getting rid of the word should in your vocabulary.
Yes.
And just change it to could.
Yeah.
I could do it, but you know what? I'd really rather go take a nap today, or I'd rather go shopping, or, just read for the day. Whatever it is that you could do.
Yeah. We get ourselves in trouble when we should all over ourselves, so to speak, if you've heard that expression. So anytime the word should comes out or have to, that should automatically starts to be like, for me, red flag, to your point, what you were saying, Margaret, right? All of a sudden it's like, okay, what am I saying? And then how could I rephrase this, reframe it, or change that up? So it's like, as soon as that word almost comes out of my mouth these days, and it doesn't as much as it used to, it's like, okay, let's rethink that one.
Yeah.
Deborah,
I just wanted to sort of piggyback. So many people touched on the idea of really sitting with at the beginning of the week or Sunday or whatever, and deciding which meeting align with where you want to be. And then maybe even a step further is listen to your intuition and know that wherever you go is where you're meant to be that day for whatever reason. Somebody needs to hear what you offer and what comfort you bring. And just know that that's exactly where you're meant to be.
And I always say that no matter if I'm at the grocery store or anywhere, it's like, you know my skills, you know what I have to offer, the gifts, and you know the people who are going to be there. Just allow whatever wants to come through in that message, because then you turn it over, right? It takes all the pressure off in such a beautiful way. And you can use that, what I was trained by Dr. Martha Beck. She's some of yours, a life coach. And she talks about this body compass. You can use that body compass for anything, whether you want to take a nap, whether you want to make that phone call. It's like really feeling in any moment. What does it feel like? It doesn't mean you're never going to call that client or never go to a networking. It might just mean like right now, the thing that feels most like love to do for myself is to rest. And then when we're rested, maybe we got 3 emails from potential people, right, while we were resting. That happens to me all the time. Or then maybe we go out and we do something else, and the energy, again, that we bring to that because we've taken care of ourselves first. So you're spot on. You're spot on with all this stuff. I love it. It's beautiful.
A lot of us have done personal development work, right?
Yes.
How do you do personal development work? Yeah.
For sure.
So important as an entrepreneur, yeah.
Which is why you're an entrepreneur out in, again, this new paradigm, doing this because you've been not that the whole world hasn't been tapped, but not everybody has said yes to that. Yeah. So it's like you've been tapped and you're saying, yes, I want to be out there. And again, there's a beautiful saying that my coach Martha Beck said, and she said, if you want to save the world, save yourself first, right? Mm-hmm. Do your own work, do your own stuff. And that will, again, reverberate out in ways that will be authentic and meaningful. And to your point, Deb, all sorts of people that need to hear that. Your ideal clients can't help you if you're all up in your head with the shoulds and the supposed tos and the have tos. It's not going to be as clear. The clearer you are with yourself and you give yourself permission, then you're giving other people their permission to do that for themselves too. Absolutely. Which is a beautiful gift.
It is such a beautiful cycle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, Stacy, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Gorgeous words. Yeah, so much. I think all of us got a nugget or 2 or 5 from your presentation. Thank you so much for sharing.
Awesome.
Judy, thank you for inviting Stacy today.
Yes, thank you, Judy. Always.
Yeah. Awesome. We're going to move on to the next part of our agenda, which is the announcements. Everybody can participate in this. This is your opportunity to make an announcement based on something you might be promoting, or a referral you're looking for, or a shout out, or really whatever you like to share with us. And if you are welcome to use the chat box, if you have links that you want to share as well, feel free to type those in, because I do share the chat box out with everyone at the conclusion of this meeting. So I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm going to go with Sharon. Any announcements today?
Well, I purchased Margaret's books. And I absolutely love them. I love starting out my day reading it, and I love ending my day by putting my gratitude out there. And I'd like to thank Debbie for jumping on board and becoming a partner of Provision. And she purchased ink cartridges, and she helped fed a lot of people this past week. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Sharon. We're so glad you're here. Make sure to put the link to your website for us to purchase.
Just email me.
Yeah, or email you. We just say, I need Canon, blah, 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 and you just hook us up. Is that how it works?
Yeah. Just email me. Hey, I have an Epson printer. I have a HP printer, whatever it is, and I'll tell you exactly. Because you can go to the website, but you guys are family, so you get the family discount. So.
Oh, well, we love family discounts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool beans. Thank you for that. Mary Beth Decker, what announcements do you have today?
Actually,
you're all choked
I'd
up.
like everybody to have the intention to get me back on East Coast time, because this is killing me. I stepped out in my blogs and talked about something I learned on the Saving the White Lions. And so I'd love, Debbie helped me write the blog because it was so difficult. I would love it if you're interested in what's happening with wild animals around the world, if you'd read my blog and share it with people. It's amazingly important in so many ways. The white lions are actually a spiritual presence for many of the tribes in South Africa. And so I'm going to put the link to the blog, and if you feel like reading about it and seeing if you can share it with people or telling people about that, I would love that. Thank you.
Oh, please do. Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Beth, and I hope you get back on our time zone. Kicking your butt, huh? Re-entry is always tough, especially when you have jet lag and time zone differences, I'm sure. Margaret, what you up to? I know you always got good stuff.
Well, thank you, Sharon, again for the testimonial. I greatly appreciate it. And she had emailed me and said she really enjoyed the books, and so I greatly appreciate that. Just a reminder this week that we're still in the month of October, which is Domestic Violence, Interpersonal Violence Awareness. Be aware of the organizations in your area that could use your support, whether it's financial donations or other donations to their shelters, like, hair care products, underwear. They need, because many times these women are showing up with just the clothes on their back. So just wanted to remind people of that.
Thank you. Great reminder. Thank you. Judy Fritz, what you got for us?
Let's see, just a reminder, I guess, that the eWomen Network is meeting in Baltimore on Tuesday at Eagle's Nest Golf and Country Club, 11:30. And yeah, so that's if you're local to Baltimore, or if you know of an entrepreneur that's local to Baltimore, invite them in. And Stacy, thank you. I mean, she is just like this, I know you can hear it, the heart-filled entrepreneur, and I just love working with her and being in the same space. So thank you, Stacy, for coming out today and blessing us with your gifts, because you're such a sweetheart. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Faye, announcement time.
I don't really have any announcements today, but I do have a request. If any of you would connect me with an infusion center or somebody who's going through infusion therapy or knows people in that field, I would love the contact, and I will reach out and introduce myself in the Cape.
Wonderful. Who do you know who, everyone? We've got this great product we need to get out to. Is it men too, Faye? Can a guy wear this?
Yep.
Yeah, right? Just make sure it's masculine print, I suppose.
I have male patterns. I've had male patterns. They're gone. I haven't cut any more out because I haven't had the request for them.
Sure, well, that makes sense.
Girly girl ones, but I can do the male ones, obviously, just by male.
Yeah, I think it would be cool for a guy too.
Pattern.
Yeah. All right, so let's keep our ear to the ground for Faye. Awesome. Connie Jo.
Well, going off of what Stacy said, I just wanted to offer an easy button for everyone here. If you're not in the Celestial Circle, you're missing out on a super easy button, because the Celestial Circle offers so much. It makes your marketing become easy, because Jill does so much herself that I can't even put it into words. I've gotten so much from the Celestial Circle, and everyone here needs to take advantage of that, because it is like having an easy button at your fingertips. There's so many things that have changed in my life because of the circle. So do yourself a favor and join if you're not a member. If you're not a member, check it out, because it's an easy button.
And especially, ditto on that, and especially in November, we're going to be doing 2019 planning, and I'm really excited about that, because I have previously been very lame about that. So I'm excited.
She
Well,
gives
thanks for
you a
making me cry.
calendar, she gives you tasks, and we meet together, and it's fun, and it's easy. Do it.
Oh, and Connie Jo, thank you.
Hit the easy button.
Ding. Thank you very much. And you're doing
That's all for today.
Thank you, Connie Jo. Made me cry.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Oh, okay. Who was next? Cher? Thank you so much. Stacy, what announcements do you have for us? Oh, you're muted, I think, sweetie. There you go.
I was just because I was coughing a little bit. I don't want to cough in everybody's ear. So if you guys enjoy just the energy of this, I do it all the time on Facebook. I do what I call little videos every morning called Love Tips, and you can go through Instagram, through my Facebook page, but I'm out there with my dog talking about all sorts of things. It's just a little dose of something in the morning. I also have a private Facebook group, Love is Everywhere, that's free, and you can come and just play. It's for everyone. It's for anybody who wants to just feel good, and it's not just about skipping over the parts of our lives that don't always feel good. It's just being real and authentic. And for the holidays, I feel like so many of us just get so, like the end of the year just starts to just ramp up. So I have two offerings that I'm doing around how to navigate the holidays with ease. One is an in-person. It's called Coffee Hour. So instead of happy hour, it's before work. And it's this idea of beautiful networking with amazing women, and then getting some support around, okay, how do we have whatever holiday you want to have, whatever you want to have in November and December, you can have it, but being intentional about it. And if you're far away, I have, it's going to be a private online community through Facebook as well. And that's going to start mid-November and go all the way through, guided meditations, beautiful Facebook Lives, just all that kind of stuff as well. So lots of places to play together if you guys are interested. I would love to have anybody from this group. You guys are all amazing.
Thank you. Feel free to put your links to your Facebook group. I know you mentioned it, but if you want to drop the links in, Stacy, feel free. We want to support each other for sure. And so feel free to do that. I see Susan, I know Susan Rose has got something up her sleeve because she put a link in and I've seen it on Facebook. Tell us about it, Susan.
There, unmuted. So I just created a new workshop for women, a free workshop about kind of how to get the ball rolling to get out of that corporate burnout, and taking the next steps. I'm really excited because I decided to deliver it via Facebook Messenger. So it's one workshop broken down into little pieces, and it's really kind of fun and a different way to do it. So I just want to get that out to as many women as possible, because every time I say who my market is, it's like, so that's basically everyone. I kind of do believe that's everyone who's still working in corporate, but that's a personal mission to get all women out of that environment. But anyway, so the more that can be shared, the better, because I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, I'll be sharing it for you today as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Debbie Keevan, what you got?
I put a link to my virtual blog planning workshop, which this is for people who have never attended before. I have a different one for people who've attended before because I don't do as much teaching. So you can read about that. But I wanted to also add an easy button is if you're doing your own bookkeeping and all of that, Connie Jo makes everything easy. And I'm a reformed accountant who couldn't stand doing her books, and Connie can attest to the mess. I sort of went, please help. And she makes it so easy and it's fun. And I look so forward to, every question she asks is really good. She's saved me so much money. She questions in such a loving way. So if you are, or anyone make it easy, push the easy button, contact Connie.
Aww. See, Stacy, you thought that would be corny, and we all just adopted the easy button this morning. So there you go. Thank you so much. I have just a few announcements before I let you all go. I know we're right at the 9 o'clock hour, but just bear with me just another minute. Reminder, we're having an all-member meeting next week that's been postponed till the next calendar year. So we are meeting at 8 a.m. next week. All come back and invited. We have Jessica Dugas. Jessica is going to, and I'm so excited about this. She's going to talk to us about how to use the moon cycles to help us plan our business. So Jessica is going to be doing that. And I want to thank Judy Kane, even though Judy's not here, for referring Sharon, who joined us this week. So thank you so much for that. And thank you, Connie Jo, for that lovely testimonial, Margaret, as well, for the Celestial Circle. We are doing business planning next month, so if you want to build your 2019 marketing plan, their link for all the information is there in the chat box. And I just want to mention one other thing, just completely off the cuff, but Margaret was talking about Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And, you know, high school football players get a bad rep, don't they? A lot of them have, in general, like the dumb jock. But I just want to brag about my son's football team and their coaches. This is a championship team. And they were having a domestic abuse lecture in town, and the coach required all 60 players to attend. They had to attend or they were not going to play. And so all of these football players, after practice, can you imagine what this place must have smelled like? They all went into this 1-hour workshop about domestic violence. And so I just wanted to, Margaret, as you know, the good work you do does trickle out there. Joe is wearing a domestic, he doesn't even know about my own history. He is wearing a domestic abuse awareness bracelet, as are the players this week. So I just want to share that as a kind of a feel-good thing, that there are some really good men out there who are doing great work with boys. So I hope that makes you feel encouraged, considering with the news and everything that's going on. So,
exactly. Thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely. So with that, I look forward to seeing everybody 8 a.m. next Friday. Feel free to go into the Facebook group for any support you need during the week. Thank you again, Stacy. Come back and visit us anytime, Stacy. We'd love to have you as a visitor, and Susan as well. And we'll see everybody next week, okay? Sending you love.
Thank you. Have a lovely weekend, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Stacy.